because where
I
you're
said
from,
what I said.
where you're from, there wasn't a lot in the way of like whiskey distilling. There was moonshine.
I
Um,
said what I said.
anyway, uh, yeah, yes and no. I, we don't have time is a resource just like anything else, and we don't have unlimited amounts of it. But it's important that you understand the stakes, and it's important that you understand what you're up against. So, in my opinion, based on long years of study, it is worth taking the time to make sure that you do.
Okay, so what exactly is it that you need us to do? Because I'm gonna admit, and I'm sure you've got onto this, I'm not much of a thinker. I'm more of a point me in a direction so I can stab things.
Well, fortunately for you, that may come in handy at some point, and for me, to that
I
end.
really hope so.
I have isolated 6 instances, specific anomalies, which appear to be sort of, I guess, for lack of a better, I guess, for lack of a better term, infected. Which, if left unattended, will exacerbate the existing problem. I don't know if this infection already existed and somebody is making it worse, or if they created it. But based on what I have seen, there is an intelligence behind this. Who that might be, I couldn't tell you. They may not even know what they're doing risks the destruction of everything. What I need from you is to go into these timelines, find the source of the infection, and destroy it. As it happens, most of the infected time frames are ones that you are all from.
So just to recap, our goal is to go to these 6 different places, times, if you will, find those infections, cure those infections, and if there is in fact an intelligence behind it, and we discover what that is, maybe stop the intelligence from creating new infections if that is in fact what it is doing. Is that
Well, he
correct?
said destroy, so
Destroy, eradicate, cure.
how are we gonna know what the source of these infections is? Are,
Well,
is, whatever.
tense is going to be really, really weird for the next foreseeable, so just bear that in mind. Um, how will you know? You've already sort of encountered the phenomenon. It's the time miasma.
Wait, can you refresh me on the time miasma part of this?
That's the
Certainly.
wibbly wobbly stuff.
That's
Timey stuff.
the situation where your friend Lyle and Tuppy can see that the statues that adorn my hallways are representations of yourselves, and the rest of you cannot.
Oh, okay, that part. Okay. Thank you. That I got that it was the wiggly wimey timey part, but I didn't get how it could possibly
Mm.
connect to what we're moving into.
Is
I
there
have a
That
some
helps.
is there something that'll make it easier for us to see since it was real hard for us to see
you
that?
unfortunately yes and no. Um,
Ugh.
there is, however, that thing is going to be mostly exposure, learning to know what to look for. I can tell you what it is, unfortunately. I can tell you what it is and what to look for, but I can't understand it for you.
So it'll be easier for me and Tuppy because we've done the thing already.
Correct.
And the more we do the thing, the easier it gets.
Correct.
Cool.
So to that end, and Schmoopsy, I don't know if you're back or not, but I would like Lyle and Melisandus to make a note. I'm not going to do it, even though I'm in control of Tuppy. You have a +1 on saves to penetrate time miasma.
Oh, cool.
So. So. Let's see. Time is in jeopardy. Gotta fix it. Lots of bad things happen if we don't fix it. Any further questions?
No, although I appreciate how after, all of the brain breaking stuff, you finally summarized that in a way that I can understand. So let's go kill stuff.
Or rather save stuff. I really enjoy life. Life is a good thing, and it sounds like if we don't, life will no longer exist.
So let's go kill stuff to save stuff.
Seems to be our plan. I feel I've done that many a times. One quick last question.
Certainly.
How did you pull me out of time if I was dead?
Wait, you were dead?
Pretty sure.
Is that something you truly wish to know?
I know, I'm curious.
I didn't necessarily need to know the hows, because the way you just asked me if I really need to know sounds like it might be a little bit messy. But I have a lot of confusion happening here. And I think it has to do with my life timeline, since we're talking about timelines and such.
Yes, yours was certainly the most convoluted, I will say that. He holds out his hand for
Mm-hmm.
yours.
She takes it because apparently that's what I should do.
Okay, and he kind of like, and this is very much like he takes your hand and then he covers it with his other hand and he says, "If you truly wish to know, I will tell you. But I will warn you that sometimes it is better to not know."
I mean, you could tell me, and then maybe if she decides later, uh,
I think
you
this
know,
is her
I
decision to
can
make, Lyle.
I can explain it simply and, stuff.
I understand the concept and the truth behind sometimes it's better to not know. And I may end up living to regret this, but I need to know.
He lets go of your hand. Do you wish to have this conversation here, or do you wish to have it privately?
No offense to all of you. You seem great. We're obviously all going to get to know each other better and try to save our worlds together. But this is a me moment. And I would like this private. Just
Lyle
He
looks very dejected.
he
I'm sorry.
stands and kind of gestures towards in the direction to the south where the kind of contemplation room was,
Mm-hmm.
and says, "Why don't you join me in the meditation room?"
She follows.
I'm just moving them around because I can, because they're kind of like modern day action figures. He
Look, we're down
steps.
there now.
Yep, he
I
steps
mean,
through.
you're not wrong.
Right? Like, I think that's half of the joy for me for Roll20 is the fact that it's basically just modern day action figures. I mean,
I
We're
wanna
let's
just
face
kids
it,
playing with our
pew,
toys.
pew, pew,
we
pew.
are. Well, and let's be fair, like Minecraft is fully just Legos but digital. Um
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
so he kind of pulls he walks into the room with you behind him and he closes the door behind you. Jess, do you care if the rest of the characters hear what
No,
I have to say?
I don't mind if the player's here.
Okay.
It's just I don't think
the
the
players.
I don't. Anissa does not feel that the characters should necessarily know
Gotcha.
because she doesn't know them well enough to
Yep.
apparently give information that she may or may not regret knowing.
Every entity, every creature has a path, has a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yours had a beginning, and it had a middle, but it never had an end.
Just ending and dying isn't an automatic end.
No. This, and he kind of like he kind of gestures to him, and you kind of get the impression he's talking about like his physical body. This is just a vessel for what's up here. Death is just the end of one particular vessel. But after a point, your consciousness, your soul, if you will, just sort of stopped. It was stuck. I chose you because you're competent, because you're intelligent, because you're accomplished. You ended a world, Anissa. And you ended it kindly.
We didn't
Do you have
really
any
have another
idea
choice.
do you have any idea how few people actually can say that? In all of creation.
I'm not honestly sure if it's something I should be proud of or not,
It's
but it
it's
was
too big.
necessary.
I know. It's too big for pride. It's too big for shame. You did what you needed to do. Your story wasn't over. I chose you because stories need to end.
This is an opportunity for an end.
This is an opportunity for an end. But, and the reason I hesitated to tell you, I fear this will be the end. Whenever you're done here,
I die again.
and this time it'll be truly over for you.
Does that mean I'm dying in 2 weeks or 25 years? I don't know.
No, I don't know either. Perhaps it's better to not know.
Oh, I don't really need to know an end date. That is definitely one of those I do not need to know. I've spent my life fighting and expecting and understanding that at some point I'll be done with the fight. Whether it's my choosing or it is taken from me via my life. This is not the first time I have come back to fight again.
Do you know who the greatest heroes are? The ones that really do resonate throughout history.
Well, some would say those the ones the bards sing of. I suspect it's really the ones that no one almost knows about. Except for the ones who they directly impacted.
It's
I
the
don't know.
it's the ones that fight because it's the right thing to do. They don't want it. They never asked for it. But they do it over and over and over again. Because it needs to be done. History, the books, may not know your name. But I will. And I will never forget.
Unless we don't fix this problem that you just put before us, and then everyone forgets.
Well, I mean, there's that,
Everything.
but, I just try to have a moment. I'm sorry,
I wasn't meaning to truly ruin the moment, but I found a little bit of ironic that you're talking about remembering when we're about to deal with this.
Then, even if things go poorly, know that I will remember you, your name, and what you have done until the very last minute that until I am incapable of doing so.
Do you know what my last name is?
Yes, and he says it because Adam doesn't remember what it is.
That's not helpful. I can't use that in gameplay.
Okay. I'm pretty sure somewhere in my notes your character's last name is written down. I will make a concerted effort, and we're talking analog here, like these are paper notes.
Oh yeah, these are paper notes.
I will make a concerted effort to dig through my boxes and find those notes so I can get you your last name.
That'd be cool. I will look on my end. I have a beautiful 2.5 inch, 3 inch, it's a big ass 3-ring binder with all my old character sheets. And I'm 90% sure I've seen it since I lived in this house. When I went to go grab it, when I was building Anissa for this game, cannot find it. No freaking clue. So.
I feel you should just pick a really long Greek name.
She's Grecian from Garnath.
For no reason, but Actually, if you're from Karnath, then you can take a gigantic Slavic or Russian last name.
Actually, I think you were Thrain, Jess.
Was she Thrain?
I thought you because that's where the orphanage was in Thrain.
Oh, I must have mixed up the two countries in my head.
Yeah, that's where the orphanage was. Anyway,
okay, pardon
so
me, Thrain.
You guys return to the group after your moment.
Anissa does not look scarred or destroyed in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry for the delay, all, but apparently we're in a time vortex, so void. So I took a moment. Ironically, I guess.
Now, I will say, I said I have isolated 6 specific instances. That's not precisely true. I've actually isolated 7. One, I was able to get very specific as to where and at what point they are. And I thought it might serve as sort of training exercise. But I need to stress that it is going to be very dangerous.
Ow!
Do you have any cool shit that we can take with us that's gonna help us do this stuff?
No, but you can take any cool shit that you find along the way.
Got any information about this incident and why it's so dangerous?
It's an individual, actually. Goes by the name of Harrow. Sort of crops up and appears and disappears over and over and over again throughout not just our time frame, but the multiverse.
Oh, are we
Harrow?
plane traveling as well?
No, not this time. Thankfully. That's a little beyond my ken. Let me be clear. There's the cosmology of Gravendale, which we have the outer planes, we have the lower planes, we have the upper planes, etc., and so on. Like that sort of planar traveling is one thing, but we're talking a truly alternate universe that this individual is from.
We can't tell them. The goal is to eliminate them or get them so they can't come back to our place.
Everywhere he
Excuse
goes,
me.
he spreads the infection. I don't know. I don't. It's difficult for me to say that I don't know something. I don't know how to fix the infection. Whether it's simply a matter of destroying the source or curing it or what, but he is not going to be cooperative.
Lyle, I think you get to help kill somebody.
Thank God. What is he?
Just a man.
I mean, like, is he a fighter? Is he a mage like Mal over there? Is he like a churchy person? What is he? Does he shapeshift?
I guess
You
the
got anything?
best description of him would be spell sword.
Cool.
Question: what makes you think that us six? I mean, granted, it might be 6 against 1, but I don't know that we might have the capability to deal with a multiverse person who can jump between one and another.
Caleb does make a good point. Why were we chosen specifically?
Also, if this is so dangerous and this guy is such a badass, why is that the first thing you're sending us against? Seems kind of like a dick move, my dude.
That was like 3 questions all at once.
With the same purpose, really, though.
To answer them in order, as I have comprehended them, I don't know that you can necessarily defeat him. Call it a instinct. Why you specifically? Well, judging by how things have transpired, judging by how the statues in my home have altered themselves, I don't know that it could have been anybody but you. And as far as places to go first, you certainly don't have to deal with this first, but you will have to deal with it at some point.
Can you run through the options then? Since.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Adam, grab his... readjust where his notes are on the page. Do.
Gotta stop poking my finger with the needle.
Tap poking your
I do
finger
have
with
to
the
say,
needle.
when he was like, I don't know if you'll survive. It's dangerous. And then you poke your finger, and that just cracked me up.
Right.
The
I was
timing,
trying so hard not to like laugh, and then I saw you were laughing too, and I'm like, shit.
the timing on that was damn perfect.
It was pretty good, yeah.
I'm like, don't distract the game. Don't distract the game. Sorry, my new fancy embroidery magazine came in the mail, and it usually comes with a little kit of something. This is one of those from my lovely friends who pitched in for my birthday. One of the long-lasting things is I get this magazine every month or two. So I'm working on. You can't see the lighting's bad, but
Okay.
I started and I pulled out one of my brand new embroidery needles, and I usually use tapestry needles because I've been cross stitching recently, and those you go through holes, so you don't actually. It's a blunt tip versus a pokey tip. So I've been used to like reaching around and touching the tip of my needle. This one's sharp.
Yeah, it's no longer a blunt tipped needle.
It's really sharp because it's embroidery versus cross stitching. It hurts. So
All right, Magister, hit me with our 6 incidents.
what do we got?
So, each instance takes place in one of the major epics. The exact circumstances, I am not 100% certain what is off, just that it is off. I suppose the best bet would be to go chronologically, although my recommendation would to not be to do it chronologically. Simply based on the severity of the difficulty. I think learning more about what you're getting into is going to behoove you in the long run. The first incident takes place prior to your written history, involving a man by the name of Aurelian McDermott, and having to do with the creation of the Red Dragon Inn.
Sorry, what was this dude's name?
Aurelian McDermott.
Aurelian?
Yep.
And the creation of the inn.
And the creation of the Red Dragon Inn, yes.
Cool.
It's been around for a long time.
It has indeed been around for a long time. Actually, it has been around since before the current age and recorded history. The second instance takes place during the very first epic, the rise of the Orc Lord, if you will, having to do with a young group of individuals, a young group of adventurers, who have a lot of impact on history as it continues forward. The individuals in question are named Kai Ravenskull, Maven, and Saul.
You got the world in trouble.
The third incident takes place during
We
the
fixed it so many times, it's okay.
rise of the undead, incidentally still involving Kai and Saral, and a couple of other individuals.
So you're saying we need to take out this Kai and Saral because they seem to be causing a lot of problems in the history line.
They're important to history. Taking them out would be ill-advised. It's circumstances surrounding their involvement that you need to look into.
Okay.
So keep them alive.
I
But
would
stop.
say yes, keeping them alive at all costs would be the best bet.
But stop whatever they did wrong.
Exactly. To remove them from history would simply, honestly, make things go a lot faster in terms of forgetting.
Noted. Wait,
The
did you just say they were in 2 ages?
Yes, it's not that. I mean, they lived for a long time, but in this particular instance, they saw the end of one and saw the beginning of another.
Okay. Sorry, I just did some math in my head about time and
At
Yes,
this
no,
point, though, we are in a space that is outside of time itself. Nothing's going to surprise me.
Hale, I think I might need to take your attitude on this.
The
Maybe
next
sand
incident,
strength.
the fourth incident, takes place during the Epic of Demons.
Which epic is that?
That is the third. And that involves a young gnomish wizard by the name of Findright, his companion Disa, and a few other individuals.
So after the epic of undeath, there was an epic of demons.
Yes.
I look over at Hale.
You know, again, in a room outside of time, clearly there are more epics afterwards, so the world survives, I guess.
We fix the undead part and bring in demons. That seems like a flaw.
Oh, it gets better. After the
What?
demons is the devils. And this one is a far more insidious era, as the devils work their way into the very fabric of society. They anyway, that involves a series of individuals, including a young man by the name of Mactus Tirbo,
Okay.
an Ursme, a Ruby, a Danik, and an orc named Orc, but he spells it with a K.
Cool, cool, cool.
After that, he looks over at Lyle. After that is what will become known as Godfall. Does not directly involve these 7 individuals, but some of the things that they had to deal with in their wake are a little strange. But that involves Mordecai, Wolf, Kazuma, Saral again, and yes, it is the same one,
Are we sure we're
Morgan,
not supposed to off this one?
Justinian, and Kobar. Yes, I'm pretty sure you don't want to off her. You especially do not want to off her.
Well, yeah, of course I don't want to offer, but honestly, as Anise is looking at this, it's like, this one seems like a troublemaker, which is not untrue. But Anissa doesn't know that she's like good on the level of super good, just chaotic.
However, one would note, if this person is showing up in several of these miasma moments, provided we make a good impression the first time, that may help things down the line.
Ooh, yeah, if we meet her earlier.
Just something to ponder. However, if we also screw it up poorly, that will, I imagine, make things much more difficult.
Probably true. So you said that you don't suggest going in chronological order, but in order of severity. So any insight into that?
And also,
Yes.
just to quickly verify, the Mordecai Wolfsrau, was that the 5th epic?
Yes.
And what epic is this hero from?
Prior to written history. No, sorry.
No,
that was the other thing.
That's the Harrow himself does not factor into any of the epics. he or didn't. You'll find him in the Age of Enlightenment, which is technically where I plucked Anissa from. Um, but he's currently trapped, which is part of the reason why I thought maybe it would be a good training exercise. He can't. Well, he's in an enclosed space. It's contained, so to speak.
That does mean that he doesn't have much place to run to, so he might not be
Doesn't feel
able.
like very much fun.
I mean,
Quick.
Hi, baby.
I have a question.
Yes.
So since this is all interesting timey-wimey stuff, it truly doesn't matter what order we do any of it in, because we're going to go point into whatever time we're supposed to be to deal with it, correct?
Correct.
If we screw it up, can you just go poink, poink, and try again?
Unfortunately, it does not work that way. Once things are in motion, they cannot be stopped without creating a significant paradox.
I was just checking, since we're already getting dropped into a time.
It is a valid
conceivably
question.
being pulled back out and, oh, nope, you didn't do it right, try again.
I will, out of character metagame, as with most time travel storylines, don't think about it too hard. It will fall apart.
Okay, the GM can only prep so much shit.
Yeah,
Stop poking at it.
Correct. And again, just like any other time travel narrative, if you think about it too hard, the whole thing falls apart.
It's fair.
That was funny to me.
I feel like I have a stronger case than Looper did, but still not as strong as, like, Back to the Future.
Okay, so severity order.
Yes, severity
going-
order would be where I put it in my notes. You'd think I would have put it someplace obvious and intelligent, but I didn't because I am ridiculous at times.
Ridiculous. I'm putting me back here. I'm with you guys.
Where the frick did I put it? Here we go. So his suggestion is, and I'm not going to do it in character. His suggestion is to do. Well, his suggestion is to take out Harrow, who's in the Age of Enlightenment. Then first epic, third epic, fourth epic, second epic, fifth, and then pre-time.
I say we start with his suggestion. He seems to know what's going on far more than we do.
This is true. We are fumbling a bit here.
All right.
Very good. And on that, since we're going to transition to something else, let's take like a 7-minute break. Because I got to pee and refill my water bottle and all that stuff. So yeah, let's take a quick 7-minute break and we'll jump into the next thing. Depending on how this combat goes, we may end a little early. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes your time, and we will see you soon.
Folks, we're going to a quick break.
Folks, inclusive language. Folks, we're going to go to a break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes.